Logan Schuchart, $1 million winner. I mean, has it sunk in yet? It's been about 15, 20 minutes after the checkered. You had a very awesome victory lane. Just how you feeling right now? $1 million winner. It's pretty badass.
I don't know, man. It's I don't think I have the words in my vocabulary to describe the way I feel right now, honestly. Just all this team, I can't say enough about them. They work so hard, and it bugs me so bad when I feel like I can't give them the results that they deserve sometimes. But I felt like coming to this racetrack, it's one that we've ran good in the past. We've had the chance to win big races here, and I just felt good about what we had going on. I felt like the guys were going to give me a great car, and it's going to do my best to make it happen. And I don't know, we're sitting here.
Yeah, for you and the Shark race team, just how special is it? You guys have, did the grind early in your career to get to this point, just had to come full circle and feel pretty damn special.
Yeah, it's. I say it all the time. We've come a long way from starting from the bottom, and just what Jacob and I have come from. The amount of equipment that we've had to starting off with the Outlaws with one engine in each car to short block and just building up to here with we had Relodyne here who's supported us for the last how many years, C&D Rigging, Federated Auto Parts, NGK, Brian. They're all here. Big name supporters of Shark Racing that believe in us, and even when I didn't believe in myself, sometimes I got my team that backs me 100%. This guy comes in here, yelling and screaming. Biggest supporter. Bill, my grandfather, obviously is big believer in this race team. Never gives up, and has instilled that into Jacob and I. So, just amazing to be sitting here with. Two champions that win many outlaw races are the best of the best, and we're able to come out on top tonight.
So I interviewed you for the pole center, and you kind of like were psyching yourself out. You're like, I like to start, a little bit, a couple rows back. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna kind of pace I'm gonna set, but your pace was out of this world the whole 20 or the whole 50 laps.
Yeah, honestly, I was having flashbacks a little bit because this guy right here passed me in 2019 on a restart, and this guy about did the same thing. So luckily, we got another shot at that. And we're able to get out in the lead and kind of set a pace to where I felt like it was going to be really tough for somebody to pass us. And if I could get back to the top after the restart and just set good laps, set smooth laps, and make the right moves on lap cars when I needed to, just not be overly aggressive and like I said, set a good pace. So that's about it. The plan worked out, and we're sitting here.
A little nerve-wracking going into 1 and 2 on that final lap? Kind of like you smacked the ball a little bit.
Yeah, I definitely smacked the cushion pretty hard. I didn't have the speed that I had the few laps before that, getting up to lap cars, and I don't even know who was in front of me right there. I was just focused on trying to hit my line, and I kind of took the air off the wing, and I got a little tight entering the corner, so I was trying to get the thing freed up, and I had to kind of jam the brakes and get it freed up and come down back across the racetrack.
Just the emotion, getting out of the car, at the Big E, very special place, plenty of, Hall of Famers and all genres of racing have gotten on the stage. Just talk about that, just how awesome and special that was.
Bobby Allen won the first World of Outlaw race here in, I think, 78. So there's been a lot of legend, where Earl was built, Tony's took over, and it's just a lot of legends that I came here, I think, with my grandfather for the first time when I was about 14 years old and sat up in turns 3 and 4 and watched the biggest names in the sport come rip around the top of this place. So couldn't wait for my chance, wondered if I'd ever win a big race like this. And like I said in my Victory Lane interview, lots of nights sitting up and, ran second in every major sprint car race and, sat there many nights thinking, man, what if I never win one of these things, never win one of these major events? So I'm glad I got that off my shoulders, and the biggest one in history. It's just amazing, man. Like I said, I don't think I have the words in my vocabulary to describe how I feel right now.
What was your mentality when that green flag starting? Just what was your game plan, I guess, going into especially that first half of that race?
Yeah, honestly, I don't feel like I get too nervous in a race car too much anymore. I feel like, it's right where I'm supposed to be. It's what I've always wanted to do my whole life. But I'd say this weekend, I don't know if it's knowing that I felt like I had a good shot at this or what, but, man, the butterflies were rolling before the start of this race, and I kind of psyched myself out. I just feel like I don't feel like that way very often in a race car anymore. But as soon as we got strap in, fire the thing off. The next step, I felt like I calmed down more and more and more as we got ready to go. And as soon as that car starts up, I just feel like I'm right where I'm supposed to be. So I can't thank my team enough, all our sponsors, Dryden, Duramax, C&D Rigging, everybody that's a part of this, Triple X, Michael Newman's Racing Engines. We had him here this weekend, DMI, FK Shocks, everybody that's a part of it, K1. Keep me safe. I was on fire there for a little bit. So, Bell, everybody that's a part of this deal that helps us be out here on the road and compete at the highest level.
Carson, we were talking before he got in here. You were just kind of content for a second there because he was long. I think it was like 3 seconds. Do you have anything for him there tonight?
I mean, I don't know if I was content. I just knew that I wasn't going to catch him. He was way out in the lead. And unless I had some kind of caution, and even with the cautions, like every time I'd end up having to fight Brad for a few laps, and he was really good and was aggressive on restarts and was doing a good job there too. And I just think, the 1S team did a good job. I think Logan did a good job. They had a good car. They were able to, really make a lot of speed out front. And I think my team did a great job too. It just didn't quite have it. But, happy to run second and feel like the 41 team did a great job. And, it sucks. Like me and Brad were just sitting here talking like, we both made pretty good money, but like when when he wins $1 million, you're like, man, it seems like peanuts. But we're still really happy with it and thankful to be sitting on this deal, on the top 3.
Take us through that battle just with you and Brad. Through those restarts, there was pretty entertaining from my vantage point.
Yeah, I just felt like I was getting fairly decent restarts. The one time me and Logan kind of drag raced in there, and I actually was trying to maybe run the middle, or I thought maybe like I could enter in the middle and he was going to probably drive across me. And when he did, it just totally took the air off of my wings, and I ended up spinning, and then Brad drove around me, and I think he was getting ready to maybe drive around both of us. So luckily the caution came out really for that. Probably sucks. I mean, he's probably bummed, but for me, I was probably happy about it, So other than that, I would get good starts, but I would just kind of get trapped there off of Logan's right rear, and then we'd get into the corner and Brad would be able to throw a flyer, and it just seemed like we would battle for a little while, and then Logan would get away, and it just sort of played out that way. Seemed like almost every restart, but it's not a surprise. I mean, it's the Eldora Million. Everybody's running as hard as they can. People are going to be throwing huge bombs to try and get positions, no matter where they're at. I would have been doing the same thing if I was Brad or anybody else.
$900,000 difference from first to second. If you're I know you kind of touched on it there, that first question, but just you're like, damn, 900,000. That's a lot of change.
That's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot of money. It's just like Logan said. It's sometimes maybe you got to run second at a few of these before you win a big one. And I been lucky enough to win the National Open. I feel like that was a one to cross off my list as a huge win. This would have been really cool, but run second. I'm not gonna hang my head. I still think my All Ball 41 team did an incredible job, and I think Philip Dietz and Clyde Knibb and Nate Reppis worked just as hard as any other team, and I'm thankful to have them on my side. So I'm as much as I'd love to be bummed about it and be sad, I'm happy, I'm thankful, and we'll just keep trying to push forward. We still got a race on Saturday that pays $175,000. It's a crown jewel that would be really special to win. So lot to look forward to, and excited about the future.
Speaking to Brad here, Brad, you're just feels like an all or nothing race tonight. You got third place, so good podium run, but just initial reactions getting third here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not super disappointed just because I didn't feel like that I really had anything for Logan. He just was kind of the class of the field. So we all knew coming here that one guy was going to win $1 million, and the rest of us were all going to be a little bit sad, because we all want to win the $1 million. It was our one chance to do it, at least for now. And but I mean, the opportunity to race for $1 million is something that's really special. And the fact that we had a great crowd, I don't know. It's nothing to be. I'm not really disappointed. I mean, I wanted to win really, really bad. I feel like my team gave it their all. I gave it my all. Logan was just a little bit better tonight, and I'm happy for them. Happy for Bobby. I know that they've come a long way, and I've been there. Watched it all. Watched the progress, and me and Logan had some good battles. I think I stole one from him in 2019, and I think he got the last lap tonight.
Open up for any questions, anybody?
I'll take the first one. Carson and Brad, do you think the attrition in the race helped create enough open space that it's difficult to catch him because there wasn't as much traffic to hold him up?
No, I mean, I just think a lot of them lappers were running like middle to the bottom, and we were just all hammering the fence, you know. So I feel like the lappers didn't really play that much of a part in the race. Like Logan had to peel once, I think, maybe once or twice, but I don't think I ever had to peel off for a lapper. I think I was just running the fence. So, you know, the first 20 went by quick. I couldn't believe, like, they threw the caution, and I was like, man, I can't believe we're already 20 in. And then the next 30, I felt the same way. I looked up, you know, at the board, and there was 9 to go, and I'm like, man, I could hardly see Logan at that point, and I'm thinking, well, you know, don't stuff it in the wall. It still pays $100,000 for second. Unless something crazy were to happen, I didn't think I was going to be able to run him down. So I don't know that the attrition of the race seems to be such a breakup when you have that break that, you know, I just felt like, you know, I knew that we were all going to be running hammer down as hard as we could every lap, with it being that we were going to get fresh tires almost halfway through.
I think a little bit too to think about is that like Logan was the best car, you know, and we had all the inverts last night, and you know the best cars kind of started up front, so you knew that like if Logan got out front or one of the guys with, you know, the best car, it's always going to be hard to chase him down. And you know the best car drew 1, and the second best car I felt like drew 2, and you know, so I mean I think that's why the pace was so fast up front, is you saw the best cars, you know, basically in the front of the field, and it was going to always be hard for guys to go up there and pass them.
Yeah, Logan. Yeah, I remember when you and Jacob were rookies at the World Finals in Charlotte, and I just want to talk a little bit about your relationship and helping each other over the years.
Yeah, Jake and I have always had a tight bond. Him and I, for everybody that doesn't know, Jake's my uncle. He's younger than me, but we've treated each other like brothers our whole lives. So we've always been close. You know, when he succeeds, I'm very happy for him, and it's the same vice versa. So, you know, we were going back and forth the last few days, you know, trying to help each other out, get each other going. And, you know, it's just a great feeling to start out today. You know, it just little things like warm-ups. You go out there, set quick time, and Jake's out there and sets second quick. So it's just, I know little things like that make my grandfather happy, and for him at his age to see his cars up front, I know puts a big smile on his face, and I know it just makes the rest of us happy when he's happy.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Logan, was it difficult to not think about the finish as you were getting closer, the last laps, and just keep executing, or was it easy?
Honestly, I heard Carson talk about looking up at the board quick, and I wanted to do that. I don't know how many laps to go it was, but I thought about looking because, you know, he said the first 20 went by quick, and I felt the same way, but the last 30 felt like it was 75 laps to me. So it was probably about 10, 15 to go. I thought about looking up there, but I second-guessed myself, told myself not to, because I felt like it would screw me up to be looking and knowing how many laps were to go and change my pace. So I just felt like I needed to get by the lap cars when I needed to. And like Carson said, they never really slowed me down. When I did catch them, I caught them at the right time. I was able to peel off and get right by them without, you know, too much hesitation. So, and just get back to the top and start making laps.
Michael? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Just one more, just vanity question. Any idea what the first dumb thing you're going to buy with the money is?
Nothing dumb. I'm currently homeless at the moment, so I'd like to start on a race shop. I've always dreamt of having my own race shop, place to put my motorhome. So Summer and I are living in turn 2 right now. So that's my plan. That's my goal. My realtor's here tonight. She told me I'm putting in an offer right now, so I'm ready.
Logan, for all three of you, this is probably going to seem like a stupid question. I don't know if you'd ever met Jonathan before Victory Lane tonight. He actually, the guy that's won here 100 times and won the Million last year, he said, I don't want him to do it every year. I would kind of like all three to keep the special factor of this event. I'm sure you're in this moment, you're like, yes, they should do it every year.
Yeah.
But I would love all three of your takes on that. Is this an every year event, or do you understand that it would not have the magnitude if they did it every single year? I know it's a little raw to ask you, but I'm curious.
Yeah, I don't know if it's sustainable to be able to do that, but yeah, I think we'd all wish there was one 5 times a year. But yeah, but no, it's the the atmosphere of this place, and knowing, since PRI that there was going to be a million to win, it's in the back of all of our heads all this year. No matter what you're doing, you're trying to focus, especially the last couple weeks. I feel like every fan that came up to me the last couple weeks is like, well, are you ready for Eldora? Well, I don't know. We got a few until then I got to focus on, but yeah, we wish there was lots of $1 million to win races. But no, I watched that whole documentary on Jonathan. I didn't know a whole lot about the late model world until Dryden and Relodyne got involved with it, and I started watching all those guys like Chris Madden and Ricky Weiss, and once I got to watch Jonathan's documentary, their story seems a lot like ours, and to see a guy like that win this race and see how special it was to him is really awesome. So I can relate to that.
Talk about if each one of you can kind of touch on, or whoever can answer it. Some of you have raced with the double file, the choose cone. It was kind of different for some guys tonight. What's your take on how that played out, especially on the restarts there, because it's a little more tense than usual?
Yeah, I don't know. These guys probably feel a little bit differently, but I know at the drivers' meeting when they said that we could have one with 1 to go, I thought that sounds wild, and I really hope that doesn't happen, even if I wasn't the one leading. But yeah, I'm glad that didn't happen. It's a wild thing that Brad and his series do. That I think it's great for the fans. I think it's as long as it's organized and as time goes on, the rules for it are going to get a little bit better. What people are doing, but it's definitely something different. And as the sport evolves, you get more fans involved. I think it's a great thing.
Yeah, I was in the attrition heat, so I was like thinking maybe I'd love it to go away, at least like the last 4 or 5 laps of the heat race maybe or something like that. I had Brent beside me, and I feel like I was working so hard, so nervous in the car. But I think it's a good thing. I think it's something different. They introduced it there, obviously, with high limit, and I feel like it can either help you or hurt you. And tonight, I didn't really think it played that much of a factor in my race, but it definitely would have we have had one with 1 to go or something like that. I felt like Logan was going to be on the bottom regardless, and then I was going to be on the top, and it probably played a little bit into Brad's. I think he chose the top the one time or maybe every time, and it seemed like I would have rather been there too. So I just think it plays another factor into the race that you don't normally see, and I think it just gives you a little bit more of an option and gives you a chance to make a decision on your own instead of just getting forced one lane or the other.
Yeah, I just think that, like, I was in third and I wanted the top. I didn't want to be tied to Logan's decision. So I think the choose cone's more fair, and I think the more we do it, the better everybody gets at it. And it allows each basically odd number, 3rd, 5th, 7th, to not be tied to the leader and choose. I thought their restart zone was a little tight. They were definitely, we run with the Outlaws a lot, and they're not it seemed like as strict on the calls. I didn't, I don't have like a strong opinion one way or the other. I thought they did the best that they could at trying to please calls, and they tried to create excitement by keeping the double files going the whole time. Man, it's $1 million. They made it tough. It's their rules, and we played by them. And I still think the best car won. And no matter what the rules are, that seems to happen a lot of times.